Mainz-Kastel, Germany, sitting on a table in a workroom occupied by a half-dozen members of the 2nd Multi-Domain Task Force, was a small, unmanned aerial system that cost about $10,000. The system was acquired from the Blue UAS list, a catalog of pre-approved US-made drones Army units can purchase on their own. But this particular model wasn't flying anywhere. After one of our exercises, we dissected this thing, and we realized that inside of it is like a $200 module that you can buy just as a commercial consumer right off the shelf, said Chief Warrant Officer 2 Christian Lair, an electronic warfare technician. He declined to name the drone's manufacturer. We started to dig into the question of why is this expensive, and can we do it for cheaper? Lair said, "Not necessarily better, but can we provide our commander with the effects that he wants at a price point that's reasonable to the taxpayer?" By buying their own parts and with the help of 6 3D printers, the group of about 4 full-time and 2 part-time soldiers created a drone more suitable for the Army's 56th Theater Multi-Domain Command, which has a mission to combine traditional long-range fires with capabilities in space, cyberspace, land, air, and maritime domains to prevail in battle. It only flew for about 10 minutes during an exercise in Poland, but it accomplished what the unit wanted. The so what of that is with about 5 seconds of latency, I was able to fly this in Poland and send the feed for the sensor and the camera directly to Arizona, where the rest of my units were. That's not real time, but it's closer than a lot of what industry has to offer, he said. The command's 2nd Multi-Domain Task Force set up the Innovation Lab and looked for soldiers who wanted the challenge and had an interest in do-it-yourself tech. One is an electronic warfare officer, one an EW technician, and there are a couple of signalers. One enjoys coding as a hobby, another flies drones for fun. Adding the material to make the new drone. Lair noted that these weren't the fastest printers on the market. It would take another 8 hours to finish making the wings and fuselage, and it may not turn out right, and they would have to start again. Drone manufacturers on the Blue UAS list hoping to sell their products to the Army didn't have a lot to worry about, he noted. "I need a drone that can do X and Y, and I know that it will be effective because we built one and tested it. Not necessarily that I'm giving the finger to industry and saying I can make one better than you," he said. There was simply no way 6 soldiers, not a single one a trained engineer, in a lab with painfully slow 3D printers were going to scale up manufacturing and be a threat to vendors, he noted. However, to the south, on an army base in Italy, it is a different story. The 173rd Airborne Infantry Brigade has set up a similar innovation lab, but this one is manufacturing hundreds of drones weekly in 2 factories. First Lieutenant Francesco Latorre, Director of Robotics and Autonomous Systems at the 173rd's Bayonet Innovation Team, said the brigade is buying components for drones, teaching soldiers how to construct them, and can make an average of 3.5 of them for every turnkey out-of-the-box drone offered on the Blue UAS list. The Ukraine war, where units similar to his go through hundreds of drones every day, influenced the project, Latorre said in a recent interview on the sidelines of the Association of the United States Army's Land Euro Conference in Wiesbaden, Germany. He said, "We can get 3 more complete drones for the price of 1 turnkey system." The unit has a blanket purchasing agreement to buy the components and adheres to all procurement rules and regulations. It has set up a training course for soldiers on not only how to fly, but how to make the aircraft, he said. Inside the 2 buildings, one in Italy and one in Germany, soldiers have workstations and pass the drones around until they're complete. It takes about 70 minutes to finish 1 unit, he said. It also has developed a mobile lab to make drones in the field, he added. Unlike the unmanned aircraft that are needed for long-range reconnaissance for the 56th, these are smaller and designed to be carried into battle for tactical purposes by paratroopers and could be armed. So far, the team has demonstrated using a one-way kamikaze drone called the Sky Raider several miles out, striking moving targets. It was a first-of-its-kind engagement, and we had operators across the brigade delivering that lethal payload out to that distance, Latorre added. The brigade is making 200 drones per week to meet training demands. I think that's a good initial starting point, Latorre said, adding that they're constantly refining the technology as they experiment with the aircraft. The biggest thing we want is to give commanders options, and part of developing that kind of adaptability is having a flexible system, he said.